It's February 14th, 2023, and you know what that means. It's National Singles Awareness Day. Welcome back to the Ludicrous Report. Welcome back to TLR. I'm happy to be back. I missed the last week, but thank the heavens for my great co-host. She always takes the reins and has a phenomenal show, and I'm so glad she's here. It's the Diva Incarnate, Isa, my co-host. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm so glad you're back. Special shout out to Glenn Rubenstein. I host the Yellow Jackets Buzz podcast with him, also Wrestling Inc. And he came in clutch. We did a shorter show because he was pressed for time, but he came in and did his thing, and I have fun talking with him, but not as much as I do with you. I missed you, my friend.
I appreciate that. I watched the show last week. Whenever I'm not able to be on the show, I always watch the show just to see it from like a different perspective, like from, like the fans' perspective. And honestly, I love our show. Like it's not being biased. I love our show. It's one of those things where you get a piece of everything pop culture.
I know we're talking about things that everybody's talking about, and some of us get so consumed with wrestling that it's just fun to have something else to talk about, because I do so much content wrestling wise that I really look forward to this. And obviously my other project that I do, Yellow Jackets Buzz, which is around the TV show Yellow Jackets, that's coming back in March, so I'll be looking forward to that as well, because we kind of just like dissect every episode as it comes out. But you'll be surprised how much I enjoy just like disconnecting from what I normally do. And in addition to that, we're talking about what social media and everybody's talking about, which makes it even more fun.
Yeah, and it's our guilty pleasure. Like this whole week I was sick, and I scrolled and I looked and I watched these dumb videos and just read.
Honestly, you become one of my favorite follows on social media. You're always posting things that I wasn't aware of. Like I saw that TikTok from Roman Reigns because of your post, and I ran to TikTok immediately. Like you always post the most fun things.
Obviously, it's not him personally doing it. We know that. But
it's him, Joey. Stop it.
Okay, kayfabe. But I mean, his stuff is so funny. Like it's all there.
He had a great point. He had a great point on that one that he posted too, because everybody loved that promo. And I'm like, I said it during my stream. I'm like, why are they hyping each other up? They're both gonna lose to Roman,
I was there live last night, and I took my dad, and as it's happening, he's like captivated. He's like, this is great TV, and I'm like. They're convincing, like Sami Zayn doesn't know if he's gonna win. Like that doesn't seem very confident to me. Last week he's like, Roman's going down, Jay, it's going down, and now he's.
Yeah, I was shocked when he came out and called out Cody. It was very well done, but you posted that, and you keep posting things that I'm just not aware of, and I appreciate that kind of follow. And you're just like, oh.
See, I'm glad that someone likes it, because I find myself being too like deep into social media sometimes, where like most of my day I'm engaged on there, and it's like sometimes you need to pull yourself back, but I'm glad that you enjoy it. I also love, you know what, to go back to you're also one of my favorite follows too, because I don't really follow anybody else on I call it my wrestling Twitter, that's like a normal person outside of wrestling. And then so I see like wrestling stuff, and then I see your dog Roman, and I'm like, this is like the breakup of content that I need throughout my feed. I love like what you posted today. Like I love seeing pictures of Roman. I feel
I have a busy day today, because now we have Roman got, I think he's at 15,000 followers on TikTok. He's up there. I have a busy day. Yeah, I have a busy day with NXT. I have Wrestling Inc. So I was like, you know what? He's my Valentine date. Let me take him on a coffee date, a day date. So we took Roman out for his little puppuccino, and I had to post it. I got him a little car seat. He got something for later, but he looked at me like, a car seat? Really? That's what you want to get me for Valentine's? I think he's wilding in the car a little too much. So I was like, I need to contain him.
As everybody, like as you get pets and stuff like that throughout your life, you go from having like regular Valentines, and then like when you get animals, you're like pup cups and like puppuccinos and all. It becomes about them, and it's completely acceptable. Like I'm all for it.
Thank you. I don't feel sad now.
Hey, it's National Singles Awareness Day. And I think I don't know if you're a fan of The Office. It's my favorite TV show.
I've never watched an episode.
Really? Oh, they do episodes. They have a few episodes about Valentine's Day, and Michael Scott, who's played by what is his name? I forgot his name already.
Oh, Steve Carell?
Steve Carell. Wow. See, my brain is not fully back yet. And he does like a party for all the singles, and he calls it like national, like the singles mixer.
The thing that I love about The Office is it's a show that is so over that even somebody like me that's never seen an episode, I know all the memes. I know exactly what you're talking about because you see the GIF, you see the memes, you see the clips. So it's like funny because it's like whether I haven't seen it or not, I'm pretty sure if I sit down and decide to venture down, I probably would love it just based on what I see all over social media all the time. There's not a day around social media that you don't see a The Office GIF or meme floating around.
Yeah, no, it's there's a good fair share of Office content. That's actually how I got introduced to the show, and then it all just went downhill from there because it's my favorite show.
Yeah, maybe someday I decide to. Maybe they add a couple of extra hours to the day, I could venture down that road. But right now, I don't have time for anything, man.
I get you. Busy is good. Busy is good.
Yeah.
But speaking of memes, I've seen some memes on social media regarding a certain breakup with a wild couple. That's kind of the only thing I could call them.
Oh, I know where we're going here.
Megan Fox hints at a breakup with MGK. She's posting Beyonce lyrics. There's different memes going around.
She deleted the pictures of her social media. He got the deleted. It has to be nasty because if you get the deleted pictures treatment, something bad went down. Because some of us, if it's not a nasty breakup, I don't feel the need to delete. That was a chapter of my life. I don't have to delete it. Now, if you did me wrong, I'm going to delete you, But it's a little. The first thing that I thought about when I saw that was, damn, I know they're celebrities and they have to talk about these things, but let's say that something bad went down or it's a nasty breakup. After all the things that she said, and she looks so ridiculous on some of these interviews talking about how they're drinking each other's blood. Like, it was so extra that I personally thought it's not gonna last. They're trying too hard. And then you see these kind of things and it's like, I don't know if she's gonna be, I don't know if she has the PR to take all that stuff down, but Megan Fox did not look good here.
Maybe she just archived all the photos. Maybe they're not deleted.
Oh yeah. That's like that's the thing, right? A lot of it just archive and go back to it when a day like today.
Maybe. What the hell? That's my.
That sounds like a landline. Do you have a landline?
No, that's the.
The buzzer for the door downstairs.
I live in like an old school New York building.
So I was gonna say that.
I have like the buzzer, like the front.
Well, that's why I thought landline, because like my building in Weehawken is on our phone. It's on an app, so it will be a notification that somebody needs to be let in. Yours is
I have
OG.
this big box on the wall. I can talk to people at the door, buzz them in.
Yeah, I love that though. Vintage. You love it.
I love it. That's
the best part is like when somebody's like can't get the person that they're looking for and they start pressing all the buttons just to somebody lets them in.
I think that's what's happening right now because I have no one coming over at this time or anything being delivered. So I don't know. They could wait, whoever it is. I don't know. But but Megan Fox, I mean, since she's been with MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, there's like been like this transition of like her persona in a way where like she's very like classic Hollywood style, and then she went to like this emo punk, like
just not the Megan Fox that I know. And I've had a girl crush on Megan Fox for a long time. So she's somebody that I always followed. I don't even want to say age because she hasn't aged. She's just so beautiful. And I remember her marriage to Brian. What was his last name? You know who I'm talking about. She had the babies. You could even tell that this woman is a mom. Like, she's just killing it in that department, right? And then this happened, and it was such a turn off for me from somebody that I followed and loved for so long, and then seeing her behave this way is like, and I can understand because I'm not someone that's gonna be picky when it comes to age, right? So I didn't care if she was dating somebody younger or older. That's like, you do you, as long as it's legal and consensual, you do you, right? If you're both okay with it, who cares how? Because guys get with younger girls all the time and nobody says anything. But when you see an older woman get with a younger man, then everybody's talking crap, which I think is a ridiculous double standard. But when you start acting that age, No, honey, we don't do that. If he got with you and he knows what your age is and he knows that you're a little bit older than him,
Yeah.
then he needs to accept that you're not going to get to that level. But I did feel like she was trying too hard to appeal to maybe that audience, the people that like MGK, and the people that follow. She started adapting to that. And I was like, that it just,
Yeah.
to me, maybe it is who she is and she's been faking it for all these years, but to me it didn't feel like it was very Megan Fox. you know
Yeah. It felt like a PR stunt, like them being together in general.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
I thought the
That's a
same
good
thing.
point.
I thought the same thing with Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker. Like, I thought it was a PR stunt, like for his Blink 182 music to kind of raise them up, and because it's never proven, but a lot of Hollywood couples, I mean, they do that. They
Yeah, a
it's
lot of it.
worked.
That's why I think it's funny that people talk about like storylines and wrestling, like not to bring it back to
Yeah,
that, but oh, it's rigged. How can you like that? And I'm like, you realize that half of the shit that we see is rigged or planned,
yeah,
or like I was just watching a YouTube video about when Kim Kardashian planned that stunt when that person like spray her with something for animal awareness and it was all planned.
yep,
Like there's so many things that these people planned. I don't think that Kourtney Kardashian. I don't think it's a PR stunt anymore. Obviously,
yeah,
I actually think that she's so happy, and it's like so weird because this isn't who I would have pictured Kourtney to be with. Like,
right.
but Kourtney has always been more private because when you think about Kourtney, here we go, we landed back on the Kardashian corner like we do every week. But when you think about Kourtney, all I remember is Scott. And now Travis Barker. Everything
Yeah,
that happened in between was
night
more
and day.
private, more secret. Like whoever she was dating, it wasn't out there like all of the Kardashians.
Yeah,
So when I saw the Travis Barker stuff going so viral for her, I was like, this must be for real because I do think that she's a little, maybe it's, no, it can be because of the kids. They all have kids at this point, but
yeah,
Kendall, there was something about Courtney that I felt like always kept whatever she was doing very low key. And I respect that. I am a private person when it comes to my private life. So I
yep.
prefer that. But I don't think that, I think that she looks genuinely happy to where with Megan Fox, to me, it felt a little more forced.
Yeah, and I think after all the like they started to get bad publicity at some point, like she did at least.
Yeah.
And I think she kind of took a step back where like when they would be out in public, she'd be like behind him. I don't know if you caught
hmm
that, but like
Yeah.
she kind of like distanced herself from the public a little bit. Had to be she was where she had to be at times, but like by choice she was behind him. And I thought like maybe there was like maybe she was trying to promote something, a new movie or something. You know how it goes with this. And like
Yeah.
there was nothing she hasn't done, like she hasn't modeled she acted new movies, nothing, right?
Right. No, I have. I mean, she did a movie, but I can't even. She hasn't done anything big.
No, not
Did I
recently.
get movies? Like I was just having this conversation with someone too, where movies don't feel like a big deal like they used to feel. You know exactly
Yeah.
what movie was happening and all this. However, I will say my favorite thing to come out of this is after I sent you the link this morning for news to cover, as we do.
Yeah.
I think I sent it to you at like 5 a.m. too. I'm
Yeah,
a
it was
psycho.
early. You were on the
I'm
ball
a
today.
psycho. I got off. I went to the gym. I'm psychotic. But anyways, the point is that I search, right? So when I find something that I want to discuss, I search it on social media because that's where you find the good stuff. And somebody posted a conspiracy theory, and you know I'm a big fan of
Oh, of
those.
course. Down the
It
rabbit
was a
hole.
conspiracy theory about the picture that the selfie that she posted in the restroom. Did you see the back of it? It has like an alert for like human trafficking. And
What?
people, yeah, there's like in the background, it says, if you can't escape, blah, 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 text this number, human trafficking help number. So now people are like conspiring, was she like
Oh
in this
man.
relationship, like forced to be in it? Is something happening with her? And I'm like, the internet has made me so paranoid about every time I post a picture, checking everything in the background, like making
Seriously.
sure, yeah, because people will catch
Yep.
everything. And I saw it and I'm like, I mean, if you look good, you're gonna take a selfie. You're not gonna start looking at what
Yeah.
advertisements are in that restaurant, but
Yeah.
it's a good conspiracy, Joy.
Of
Because she was
course.
acting so weird, that you
Yeah.
could have what to think. What is she forcing this life right now? I don't know.
I don't know. When I first saw this stuff happening, I'm like, they've been like the Hollywood like it couple in quotes for like a little while now, like Megan Fox and
It couple
MGK.
for a niche group of fans.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And right before Valentine's Day, there's like hints of a breakup. I'm thinking to myself, maybe there's like he's got new music coming out, or like she's gonna drop an Instagram post of them together or something. Like it's like a setup for something. Or listen,
right.
Maybe we're just digging too deep into it, and maybe they just
maybe they're together. This is all speculation, but I thought you and I love sitting here and speculating when we do our show. So I thought it would be a fun one because it hasn't been official, but even the lyrics from Beyonce that she chose to put as her captions are about being, hurt, heartbroken, kind of like betrayed, basically. So it just really makes you wonder. But a lot of times, not too long ago, somebody sent me a text and they were like, "What's with all this scripted Spanish captions and tweets?" And I'm like, bro, if I tweet something that's not wrestling related, it's either my dog, like you said, or it's whatever Bad Bunny song I'm listening to at the moment. There's no meaning to it. I'm just listening to it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna quote the lyric. And like it was one of my friends, and she was like, "Are you okay? What's with the scripture?" And I'm like, no, I was just listening to Bad Bunny says like everything is okay. So maybe she was listening to that, and at that point she wanted to make that the caption. And a lot of times people like just look so deep. I just told you, people think she's being human trafficked. Like people look so deep into like what these people post. It's crazy.
Yeah, no. I see Dylan Matthews wrote in the chat, Megan Fox and MGK wish they were the it couple, Miz and Maurice.
Yo, facts.
Facts.
Couples goals. I don't know. I think Bianca Belair and Montez Ford are starting to take over for me. I think they're an incredible couple. Montez Ford took advantage of that. How amazing Bianca looked last night. He saw everybody was tweeting the picture, and he just posted a nice picture of it. So I'm starting to really like it. It's like the Miz and Maurice, but with a little bit of seasoning. They're both great couples.
Well, in there.
Yeah, and before we keep going, shout out to everybody in the chat. I see Ricky, I see Dylan, I see Killer Demons, Jerry Winters, Jesse, Chi-Town Smart. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us as we disconnect from wrestling and talk pop culture. Don't forget you can donate Superchats to help support the channel. Like, share, subscribe. There's tons of ways that you can help support us because we really enjoy doing this for you guys.
Absolutely. And there is a topic that we have on the dock today that we will be talking about later that has to do with wrestling. So those wrestling fans that are in the chat, stick around and you'll, I'm sure that will be a great conversation. But a topic that we need to discuss. I wrote in my tweet earlier, we're going to spill the tea. We're going to talk about all the drama going on. We just had a huge event this past weekend, the Super Bowl. For those who live under a rock somewhere. Yes, the Super Bowl. I think it's 57. Was
great. If we're talking about the sports aspect of it, excellent game with a horrible finish.
Yes, I agree. One of my, I'm not a big football fan. I'm not really into it. I don't know.
I love sports, and I always have that issue because I am. My dad always told me that I am the girliest tomboy that he's ever met because I'm always dressed up, makeup done, high heels, dress skirt. Like you barely ever see me in pants. Let's be real. Like I love being a girl, but I will watch a sporting event over a romantic movie any day of the week. And I'm not into romance. I'm not into any of that. So I do I'm one of the few girls that watches the Super Bowl for more of the halftime show. But I will be lying if I didn't tell you that I wasn't hyped for this particular halftime show.
See, I'm a Giants fan. I came home from the hospital as a baby in a Giants jersey. Like it's just in my blood.
That's the team to follow in New York. If you follow football, if you're a Jets fan, please, it's like being a Mets fan but worse.
Yeah. Giants and Yankees fan right here. Sorry.
I can't stand when I see somebody that's a Yankees fan and a Jets fan. It's like, well, who raised you? Who raised you?
It makes no sense. You're either a Giants.
And a Yankees or a Jets and a Mets.
Jets and Mets, yep.
I said people need to be, and they always have an Android too. They're Jets, Mets fans, and they have a freaking Android phone. Like, please, I can't. You're blocked automatically.
Oh man, no, it's so true. People who are not from New York or New Jersey have no idea what we're talking about. But
you and I know this could be a whole debate that we could have. Like,
you have no idea. Fun. Family events, like we have the Jets side and we have the Giants side, and people are like, oh.
And it's the same in baseball, and it's like the Mets are the losers, so are the Jets, so we put them in a group together, But I watched the Super Bowl for the football. The thing that I really like about football is that I don't feel emotionally invested. I am a Giants fan as
Yes.
well. If I had to pick a team to follow, right? But because I'm not emotionally invested like baseball, I use it for gambling. So I do online betting
There
on
you go.
football because you can't. If I can give somebody a tip about online gambling, do not gamble on something you're emotionally invested. Like with baseball, the Yankees are it for me, and they can't do any wrong. So you can't look past that and look at stats to make smart choices with your money. So I
Agreed.
would never ever bet on baseball because I would just lose all my money. But football, I can disconnect the fandom and take a
Yeah.
look at the. And I made some good. I got some good wins on football. I didn't gamble this year though.
Got it. No, this game I think was really one of the more exciting ones over the last little while. I mean,
And I wasn't expecting it to be with the teams that
yeah,
made it. I was
yeah,
like, ew, the Chiefs and the Eagles, this is gonna be crap. No, it was
yeah,
really good. There was a lot of like the brother storyline going into it. We had a Puerto Rican in there, so that
yep.
always makes us all hyped up. There was like Patrick Mahomes, who's like the everybody's sweetheart right now in football. There was a lot of little things that really added to the excitement of the game itself.
See, and here's the downfall, the one downfall to being wrestling fans for us. Everything we go into, like we're going to watch a football game or any sports or regardless, we're always thinking about what the storyline is. It's messed up. I'm thinking to myself, I'm watching it with my family, and I'm thinking to myself, oh look, Patrick, the first half of the game, he's stumbling on his ankle.
He
Oh my
wasn't
gosh.
himself, and you
And
went,
then the second
yes,
part, he's
the
gonna come back,
comeback,
he's
the
gonna win the
comeback.
game.
I
Yep.
knew it too. And then when they make the call, which there was a holding,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, it just felt like an unnecessary call at that
Yeah.
time. My iPad was dying, so I'm glad it didn't go into overtime because I didn't feel like getting up to get my charger.
Yep.
But facts. But yeah, I think the same thing. Last year, I had a tweet that went viral because I don't know if you remember how intense the NFL playoffs were last year,
Yeah.
where they were like getting crazy finishes. And I
Yep.
tweeted out a tweet that was like, whoever booked the NFL players to come work for WWE, and that went viral. But it's because of what you said. We always think of these storylines,
Yep.
or because what we love, we already know is predetermined. We
Exactly.
also go into these things thinking maybe it's predetermined. Like, I don't know, you see all
Yeah.
these people saying it's rigged, and I'm like, it could be. If WWE wasn't forced by that lawsuit, I mean, I think it would eventually came out, right?
Yeah.
But you remember how big it was when they had to come out and say, yeah, this isn't real. I thought wrestling was real for the longest time because
So
I
did
grew
I.
up during a time where it wasn't spoken about. Heels and
Yeah.
faces rode in different cars, like all of that, especially here in Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, they still trying to sell it that way. So I just wonder, I'm like, if WWE wasn't forced to say it isn't, like it's predetermined, would they? They might have not, and we might still be living under a weird, wait, what?
Yeah. No, it's definitely different. But I mean, this game, I enjoyed it. I don't
Yeah,
really,
me
like I
too.
said, I don't really enjoy the games. I don't care for it. I saw the storylines. I saw the things happening. I was like, I literally told my dad and my mom, I'm like, he's gonna come back at the end. He's gonna like
Yeah,
run. It's gonna be like this big comeback and all this stuff. And look what
it was
happened.
great. It was great. It was a
It's
great
great.
story, and that's what sells.
Yeah.
That's what sells. People want to see that. People want to be invested. Shout out to Patrick Mahomes. He's like,
Yeah.
at the end, you see all the clips of him just running around the locker room with that WWE belt. Shout out to WWE for sending it ahead
Oh
of time. They
man.
always send that after. No, they
Yeah.
had it at the locker room
I
waiting
think they
for
sent to
them.
both teams just in
Yeah,
case. But
yeah.
yeah, I had a post that people were like coming at me. I don't know if you saw it, but I made a post saying like, congrats, to the Kansas City Chiefs, and it was Patrick Mahomes holding the WWE title.
Yeah.
And I said, congrats to the Kansas City Chiefs, but just remember, there's one real chief, the tribal
chief.
And I put a picture
Yeah.
of Roman Reigns holding the same belt, and people were like, "Oh, he's not the tribal chief." Like, relax,
Oh
people,
my god.
relax.
Like, we are wrestling fans. We're gonna oh my god, stop. Yeah,
I
but
thought I
I
thought
thought the Super
personally it was
Bowl,
funny.
it was fun. It was a lot of fun
Yeah,
watching, and it was like it kept you watching.
yeah,
Sometimes you just play for background noise because the game is so ahead or you know what's gonna happen. This one I actually had to sit down and pay attention because that fourth
yeah,
quarter was wild.
yeah. And I'm surprised that it's not on here. We don't have it as a topic today, but there is a huge conspiracy going on right now. You probably heard of it, but right before the game started, they had Damar Hamlin come out, and a
Yes, the
lot of
clone.
people
That wasn't him, it was a clone.
people are saying that it wasn't him because he didn't have the same tattoos and whatnot. People were finding different things. He didn't have the P tattoo on his neck. I don't know.
You know, we already talked about this, but he did have a speech at the NFL honors like ceremony, and I don't know what to think anymore, because I did think that it looked mad sus when they had him at the game. Like, we talked about that, and you and I both know it looked weird. Like, whether it's true or not that it wasn't him, they made it so that people will have to question. NFL didn't put themselves in a situation where people wouldn't question. But I saw him at the honors, and then they had him out there with the people that saved his life, and I don't know. I went down this rabbit hole that same day that we talked about it. I watched YouTube videos, and then they keep showing up on my recommended, so I keep keeping up with it. I don't know what his tattoos are. But I don't even think that the way he was dressed was clear enough for you to be able to see his tattoos or not. I don't know. I don't care anymore at this point. Like, let him live. Let him be okay.
Yeah. But I'm surprised that it's not on like a major news. That's what really got me too. I was like, it's not on major news, which means like, are they hiding it? Like,
you know what I really like the thing that turns me off from conspiracy theories, because I like a good conspiracy theory and I follow it whether I believe. There's some that I'm like, yeah, that's cap, and there's some that I'm like, but you know, like the moon landing, for example, I can talk about it for hours. But the thing that I don't like about a conspiracy theory is that also people, once they hang on to it, they won't let it go, even if it's been proven wrong. And that's the part that drives me crazy, because it's like, okay, it was fun to speculate for a little bit. Conspiracy theories can be fun. But if it's been proven wrong, if it's been proven wrong, like, to me, this feels like this was 3 weeks ago. Like, come on, people, get over it now, you know?
Honestly, that's probably why it wasn't in any news or anything, because people were just, it is what it is at this point.
Yeah, usually, like, I didn't see that one. I usually like looking up for things that we covered just to follow up with it. And that actually didn't even show up for me.
Well, we do have to talk about the Super Bowl commercials. I mean, some of them, a lot of nostalgia in the commercials, wouldn't you say?
That Clueless commercial just touched all of my 90s kid heart. Like, Clueless is one of my favorite movies from that era. Still is. I can still watch it anytime I seen it on. And when that came on, I was just like, Cher!
I can't believe how great she looks. Yeah.
She looked amazing. They all look almost like they did at the movie, just a little more mature, but they look great.
And then we had Bill Murray with Groundhog's Day. There was a Groundhog's Day commercial. We had Ferris Bueller Day Off commercial. I mean, it was. I think this was a trend this year. It was like Crocodile Dundee. I mean, we had the Breaking Bad commercial. The Breaking Bad commercial popped me.
Yeah, nostalgia sells right now. You know, people are hanging on to nostalgia, and that's fine. I loved all of these, but Clueless was my top favorite of all the commercials.
I was watching my local news the day yesterday, actually, Monday morning. Pix 11, shout out to them because they're great.
Oh, I love them. Yeah,
they're great. And they were talking about the Super Bowl and the halftime show and the commercials. And they made a really good point. They were talking about the halftime show. Obviously, I am not going to knock Rihanna. It was a great show, like fantastic show, because it's Rihanna. And it's because of all the hits. But the minute she came on screen and showed her belly that she was pregnant, spoiler alert, she's pregnant. It became about her being pregnant. And that's what they said in the news. They said that became, in seconds, she showed her pregnancy, and it became more about the pregnancy, like a PR stunt, opposed to the performance. And he said, like, you have to sit through all this football. You're looking forward to a performance to kind of
some people and some people look at the numbers. I saw it today in a news report where the Super Bowl went up to 150 million viewers when she performed, and the rest of it averaged 113 million. People tune in just to watch Rihanna perform. There was people that were there that were clearly just for Rihanna, and to turn the performance into making it about that. While it is a turnoff, I sent out a text where it's just like, hey, listen, I used to hold Beyonce's announcement when she performed at the VMAs, like up here, like you keep it a secret and you do it in front of the world. Rihanna just outdid that. And I think Beyonce was on top of me for favorite pregnancy announcements. Who is going to get the opportunity to do that and go out there and kill it? Because she's obviously further along than we think. I mean, that belly is showing.
Yep.
And she's like suspended. Like a lot of people were like, oh, she was stiff, she didn't do a lot. Okay, she's pregnant, number one. Number two, the majority of this performance happened on a freaking platform. If I'm pregnant, I'm gonna do it. I'm not afraid of heights, but I'm not gonna be like doing all of these crazy dance moves. I thought, and I think I tend to forget, because Rihanna is like, it's weird because you don't, for me, I don't mention her like, oh, she's one of my favorites, but the list of hits, and every time she comes on, you're singing. So it's like, is she that, like, I walked out of the Super Bowl thinking, is she one of my favorites? Because she picked an excellent lineup of songs to sing.
But and she missed so many too.
I know.
So many that she didn't sing.
I know.
I
really wanted upon the replay, because that was her original like hit, and I just a hint of it. I love when she put on the makeup to promote her Fenty line. Like, what a businesswoman! What a businesswoman she is. Yeah, we said maybe she'll do like, and she did it. And she was wearing some of her Fenty Savage line. But overall, whether it became about that or not, I personally thought it was such an empowering moment for her to just come out and announce it like that. And the problem is that because it wasn't announced, she rubbed her belly quite a few times throughout the performance. I'm thinking she's pregnant, but people were trying to be respectful, so that's why it became a speculation, because you don't want to sit there and say, "Oh, she's definitely pregnant." Because you don't want to offend somebody.
That's what I did.
My favorite thing though was somebody that was like, no, she looks like somebody that just gave birth. And I'm like, bro, that baby was born in May. That's not it. That's not it. We've seen pictures of her, multiple like photo shoots of her after giving birth. There's no way that she's gonna go and look like she just gave birth 8 months later. That doesn't happen.
And you know what's crazy too? She did an official interview, like it was called the Super Bowl halftime show interview a few days ago. And nobody picked up on anything.
But she was wearing like this very loose thing over it. I was watching it, and I remembered like my sister and I, fun fact, we dedicate Umbrella to each other. That's like our song. Like, best friends, we're gonna be there till the end, you know? So of course we were looking forward to see if she would sing it or not at the Super Bowl. And she sent me a clip of that interview, where she said she might bring someone, she might not, you know. And my sister is the one who caught on her feet looking swollen, right? And my sister was like, either those shoes are, because she was wearing these strappy shoes, and I have I have a lot of lace up shoes that sometimes you tie them on a little too tight. When you take them off, they're like stuck on your leg, you know. And my sister was the one that pointed out either those straps are too tight for her legs, like they might be too thick, or she's swollen, you know. And I'm like, that's a good point. But I played it off because, listen, being girls, we have issues. We go through times of the month. I blowed up like 5 pounds 1 week out of the month. My feet get swollen. So I was like, oh, it might be that time of the month.
You don't want to speculate, you know?
But then we're girls, so we're going to speculate differently. Me and my sister go through this entire conversation about, oh my God, what if she is on that time of the month? I would hate to have to do the Super Bowl halftime show on my period. We went through this whole, but I gave her a shout out after when she came up pregnant, because I was like, you're the one who pointed out that she looked a little bit swollen, like her feet. So shout out to my sister, because she's the only one that kind of caught that. Once I saw the performance, I was like, oh, you were right.
I thought it was so like impressive. Not like, obviously she was pregnant, but like, to be pregnant, to be up that high, not attached to any safety, nothing. She was just standing on it. And when they got close to her, you can see the thing was like wobbling.
Yeah.
I would have been sick myself.
Yeah, and people were saying that it was stiff and she just stood there and did nothing.
You have to be a little careful when you're on that stuff. Like, listen, all these people who are, you know, commentators, all of a sudden it is what it is, you know.
I think it's like my favorite. It tops pregnancy announcements for anybody right now. Like, she did it on the Super Bowl. She just came. It's the first thing that she did when they pan out to a full body was rub her belly. So I was like, she's telling us what you want her to do, interrupt the performance to be like, oh, by the way, I'm pregnant. She can't do that. That's not how the Super Bowl halftime show works, you know. But congratulations to her, and I'm super happy for her. I personally thought she killed it. I love the songs that she chose to perform. Like you said, there was so many that she didn't even perform because she has that many hits. And BDE to Rihanna for not having a guest spot. Like, the fact that you can run the entire, I think the last one to have done it was Lady Gaga, I think, was the only one who hasn't had like somebody else join her. I can't remember. I saw a tweet about how many years it's been since somebody did it solo. But props to her. I wonder if that's Do you speculate about whether they might have gotten mad at her or not? Because they signed this so much ahead of time. Like, you're not pregnant when they ask you to do it. How do you break the news to them, and how do you how does that affect? Like, part of me, maybe it's the businesswoman in me, just wonders at the behind the scenes of the Super Bowl and Pepsi and Apple Music, where the sponsors kind of like rambling, but. The girls a draw, and it showed with how much the numbers went on while she was performing, the live tweets. Like, I did not scroll through any social media without seeing pictures of her and everything. So people were there for Rihanna. Congratulations to her on her second baby. I thought she killed it. I thought it was great. I love the throwbacks. I love that she sang some of her songs, like All of the Lights, which is a Kanye song. She still sang it solo. Run This Town, which she sings with Jay-Z. She ran her part solo, because those are two excellent hits. Rihanna has had a lot of good features, and I was happy that she brought a few of them in there. But she didn't get paid, Joey.
You didn't get paid. And a lot of people, back to your point about the guest spot, there's memes going around. I don't know if you saw it. So like Rihanna didn't bring any guest spots because the guest spot was the baby.
Yeah. I love the memes of the baby dancing inside the belly. Like, this was Rihanna's baby during the halftime Super Show. Like, it's great, but I wonder if that's what she was saying on that interview you were talking about, because she was like, "Oh, I'm thinking about bringing someone," and I was like, "Oh, now we know who you were thinking about bringing." Also, her significant other just recording the whole thing from
that was
below.
cool.
I thought that was the cutest thing, even though it's gonna be a crappy video. Me too, but she was so high up. The video's gonna be crappy, but to see him just being such a supportive king, you love to see that.
No, it was awesome. And it's crazy because there was a lot of rumors about who she was gonna have as a guest if she had one. There was a rumor of Christina Aguilera coming out there.
Why?
Someone said Kesha to do like some 2010s hits or something, and I was like, they don't even have a do they have a song
Rihanna
together?
has that's what I'm saying. Rihanna has. I wish Kanye would have not lost his shit. A lot of people, I don't know if it's true or not, but everything about that performance screamed Kanye. The floating
there was a
around,
lot of
there was a lot of people saying that he might have produced it. The outfits,
because there was TikToks of pictures.
Of his last concert.
He wore something that she wore.
Yeah, he had his dancers dressed like that, and he had the exact same floating stage. So I wonder if he had a little bit of influence in there. He's been quiet recently, which makes me happy for him, because the times that we were covering him were not for good things. But it makes me wonder if he, it makes me wonder if he had a little bit of touch in their own, because there was a couple of things that I saw. The floating stage, I automatically thought about Kanye. I went to one of those concerts when he used the floating stage, and I was like, man, that screams Yeezy.
and I don't think, honestly, I would not think she would use songs featuring him because of his controversy, despite them being hits or not. I think if he wasn't involved, they wouldn't have used.
Right. So that's what I mean. I would have liked to see her with like Jay-Z, with Kanye, with Eminem. She had great songs with Eminem. The Way You Lie, so
they
good.
Didn't sing those. But, she didn't sing a lot of like the ballads, the popular ballads. Which I can respect, because
it's okay. It's a dance party. It's a Super Bowl. You're supposed to get people hyped. But you forget that she has a lot of really good hits, and it's like funny because like I told you, I never like mention her in my favorite. But then when she starts singing, it's like, oh my god, I love all of these songs. What the hell?
You know what? The one that she didn't sing, and I was surprised. I was expecting it. She did "Live Your Life" with T.I.
Yes, I love that song.
I love that song. That was like my hype song for a while, and I don't know. She didn't perform it, but I can't lie to you. On my way home from where I watched the Super Bowl at my parents' house. I went home after, and on my way home, I cranked up in my car. We Found Love.
I added to my playlist because I am an Apple Music girl. Screw Spotify. Who is she? If you like Spotify, you probably like the Jets. But I'm an Apple Music person, and
clip that.
And they sponsored it, so they put the playlist, and I added it to my playlist immediately. As a matter of fact, I think I have work. It's on my workout list. It's always there.
Love it. I love it. But you made a good point before.
She was so great. She was so great. I love Rihanna. What a queen. She did it solo. She did it pregnant. Like, that was such a woman empowerment moment, and I was proud of her.
She's a billionaire. She's a boss billionaire.
Yeah, which is why she didn't get paid for that.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I was reading a lot of them actually don't get paid for it.
No, I feel like getting asked to do the halftime show is almost like an honor thing. Like, I don't think it's a money thing. Like, you're going to get all the exposure in the world. Like, people are going to, I feel like it's like such a achievement for an artist that it doesn't become about the money.
Yep.
The thing that I don't like about this, and I watched a whole YouTube documentary about it, is that the extras also don't get paid. And a lot of these
Mm,
dancers have to be in the city where the Super Bowl is, like weeks
yeah.
in
So
advance, and they're like
local and
working like 10-hour days for rehearsals and all that. And at the end of the day, they don't make any money. Rihanna's a billionaire. We just established that. She doesn't need the
yeah.
money. It's cool that they do it just to do it. I would assume if I'm an artist and I'm asked that, I'm gonna accept no matter what, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of extras that go into every Super Bowl halftime show, and all these dancers that you see and all that, they also do not get paid.
I watched a TikTok that was really informative. I can find it and send it to you after.
Yeah.
But it basically went into like detail about um how much, like, who was paid the most. I think the most at one point was like 15 or 17 million. And what they do with that money is that goes to the production, that goes to the
Right.
performance, all like it pays for the halftime show. And the reasoning that they do that is because the streaming numbers and all of the engagement after. I mean, I think they said Lady Gaga's numbers went up 1,000%.
Oh yeah, Rihanna's were up. I think I
Yeah.
saw today on some posts just around those numbers too. People looking up the songs, and yeah, the exposure is just
Songs,
absolutely
merchandise,
insane. Mhm.
concerts. I mean, all of that, social media numbers, everything, just the
A,
exposure
a
for the
lot of
show.
times people don't remember when you look at the sports aspect of it, that the halftime show is probably a pain in the ass for the players, because they're used to
Yeah.
what, like a 10-minute halftime. Now your players are getting cold in the locker room waiting for this performance to be over, because
Yep.
the Super Bowl halftime show is like a solid half hour while they set up. They sing for 13, 14 minutes. They gotta, take everything down. Your players are in the back getting cold, and they probably don't want that. So
Yeah.
there's also the inconvenience aspect of it, where it's just like, what does that mean for
You're
the
in the
players?
middle of
That
like
could really take your psyche completely off, especially if you're in
lose
a
your
zone.
momentum.
Right. So you gotta think about that as well. There's also that part of me that thinks the Super Bowl makes insane money, and
Yeah.
you can't pay these people, but at the same time, this is NFL, and the NFL pays like their players, their teams. Like, there's so much that goes into
Yeah.
putting this spectacle, because that's what it is. The Super Bowl is a spectacle, and it's not cheap either. But I
Yeah.
know they make crazy money from it too.
Fun fact that you just touched on, it reminded me. I was actually gonna save it as a topic, but we had so many for today. Uh, Patrick Mahomes came out and said that their coach didn't allow them to go out and watch the halftime show. He wanted them to stay in the locker room and stay focused. They weren't allowed to watch it, or he wasn't
Yeah,
allowed to, at
good.
least.
They shouldn't
Yeah.
be. They shouldn't be. They're super. That's why I told you. You have a psyche. You have to stay focused. Biggest game of your career right now. If you want to go out there and dance and jam to Rihanna, you're not on the right mentality that you need to be for that moment as a player.
Yeah.
As a player.
No, I personally, I don't know. Do you have a favorite halftime show, by the way, of all
Oof.
time?
Of all time. I mean, I'm very biased because there was the one with Shakira and Jennifer Lopez and Bad Bunny, and it was
Yeah.
just so Latino power empowerment. But I mean, Michael Jackson killed it. I thought, oh my God, Prince was so good when he did his.
Prince is
Um,
rated as #1 of all time, by the way.
yeah, it's a classic. It's a classic. Michael Jackson was in a different level. Women were passing out when this man came out, and they just like, he just stood there for like, felt like 5 minutes, not saying anything, and the crowd was going crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Prince. Prince was amazing.
I love the one. I don't remember which year it was from. Obviously, it was the 2000s, but it was like Aerosmith, Britney
Britney Spears
Spears.
and Sync. Yes,
That was a good one.
that
But
was great.
my favorite one was, I believe it was Super Bowl 50. Coldplay, Bruno Mars,
Oh,
and Beyonce.
the Dylan, thank you for bringing up that last year's. It was definitely my halftime show with the hip hop and the rap, because I
That was
never thought
great.
we would see that. I never thought we would see that. They're so PG,
Yep.
friendly and all that. That was like seeing Eminem in a halftime, 50 Cent in a
That was
halftime show.
rated
Like, you
number
just
2 of all
never
time.
guess. Yeah, so I will probably, if I had to do my top three, it would definitely be Michael Jackson, Prince, and that the hip hop
Yeah.
one last year. So I mean, they're all great, but it's very subjective. It depends on the music. You want to be entertained. You want to, like when I mentioned Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, and Bad Bunny, it's just because of what it meant what it meant for us
it's
Latino
huge.
when J-Lo posted that huge Puerto Rican flag in the middle of the Super Bowl, like the
Yeah.
most viewed show. So I think everybody, it's almost like, what's your favorite match? It's like, it's so subjective because of what it means to you.
Yep.
So those are my top 3 favorites. I love the one that you mentioned. I was a big NSYNC Britney girl back in the day, so like seeing them there was wild to me.
That was my childhood. That was like that.
Britney looks so good in that halftime show. Her whole outfit was incredible.
Do you have a prediction for maybe who could do it for next year?
I think Taylor Swift is gonna get a call sometime soon. I'm surprised she hasn't gotten that call yet. She has enough hits up there. I would love to. I think Bad Bunny could headline one. I really do think that, just based on his lineup, and he'll probably bring a couple of guests. What about you? Who do you think?
I actually remember reading that it was maybe supposed to be Taylor Swift this year.
Yeah.
And it changed to Rihanna out of, I don't know where.
Right. We all feel like that Taylor Swift. Yeah. I'm surprised that call hasn't happened yet. Because Taylor Swift has been so big for so long that I was like, oh my God, like, why hasn't Taylor Swift been in this position yet? Like,
I know there's a lot of controversy behind it because a lot of people are not for certain things that happen with the NFL. In 2019, it was actually supposed to, or the year that which was the year that Jennifer Lopez and Shakira did?
Like 3-4 years ago. It was recent.
It wasn't actually supposed to be them. It was supposed to be Pink, and she declined.
I was so mad at. Did you watch the Jennifer Lopez like talking about it?
Yeah, how
bitchy she was about she didn't want to share the space with Shakira. And like, the funny thing to me is that the person that brought Bad Bunny to that performance was Shakira. It wasn't J-Lo. You would think it would have been J-Lo just because of. But listen, we can talk about that all day.
I've heard so many bad stories about J-Lo. How
I used to work for her. I can give you some personal ones.
Really? Yeah. Well, I've heard she's very rude and like very like to assistants and stuff. She's very like degrading. Drivers, I've heard that. Yeah.
If it was a lie, I will make sure to defend her. So I'll just.
Yeah. But no, I think that maybe I think in my head, going back and forth, I think it will be a guy who will do it next year because they usually flip-flop between the men and the women. I was reading, there was an early rumor during the Super Bowl. I don't know if there's any accuracy to it.
You better not say Harry Styles.
No.
Okay, thank God.
People were saying Metallica.
Oh my God! Enter Sandman in the halftime show. Then my little Yankees heart will get all sad.
I think that would be a fantastic show. I think they're a little outdated, unfortunately. I think this generation doesn't really know them or of them. They may know some songs, but I don't think it would be like mainstream like that. I don't know. I would love to see it. But honestly, I like the idea of Taylor Swift. I love the idea of Pink. I think Pink would knock it out of the park. Harry Styles is coming. That will come. That will 100% come, and it'll kind of be like the Beyonce.
Give it to Drake. Give it to Drake.
It will kind of be like
used
Beyonce.
To call me on my cell phone. I can just see him doing his little dance.
You're gonna see it's gonna be like Harry Styles, and out of nowhere, like Niall and Liam are gonna come out. And they're gonna have like a little One Direction reunion. That will be it.
I'm gonna be the guy. Like, I'm gonna be getting snacks during that.
Let me tell you, if there was a mini One Direction reunion, just like Justin Timberlake did with NSYNC, just like Beyonce did. Oh my God, what was
Destiny Child?
Wow, I forgot.
Wow, Joey, I'm so disappointed in you right now.
She just got so big that like it just, I don't know, lost it.
Beyonce killed it too. Her halftime show was epic.
That's why I said like I love the one she did with Coldplay and Bruno Mars because they were like combining their songs together, and she was singing like Bruno's and Bruno's was singing hers, and then Coldplay. It was just that to me.
It was good stuff. It was good stuff. It's always such a spectacle, and it's like 13 minutes. And how do you feel? Like when I was looking at that playlist that Apple Music added, she really sang that many songs in that short period of time. But she really did.
You got to use like 30 seconds or so for each song. Like,
Yeah.
you fit like 30 songs in there. Like, how do it's
It was
impossible.
good. I love when she put on the makeup, though. I think she's
Yeah.
such a businesswoman. She's very smart about what she does, and I'm
Product
happy
placement.
for her. I'm happy for her. I don't understand why people are like so soon. And it's like, who are you to determine when somebody has a kid again or not? This woman has billions. She can
Yeah.
give birth to 20 kids in a row, and they'll be okay. Like, leave her alone.
Yeah. But staying on topic of the Super Bowl, I found this really, it's not funny, but it's funny.
Okay.
Remember a few years ago, Justin Timberlake did the halftime show by himself. And towards the end, he like went in a crowd and he like took a selfie with this
Yep.
like, kid. He was like, he
Yeah.
was like 13 years old or something.
It went viral.
It was in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Ryan McKenna.
Okay.
5 years later, during this Super Bowl, he's viral again because he got arrested for fighting with some 15-year-old kid. He was drunk and he just got kicked out of a
Wait,
play.
is this kid old enough to drink now?
Yeah, I mean, he was, let's see. He was 13 years old then, and it was 5 years later. So I guess not.
Oh my God.
And if you saw this, let me see if I can send it to you real fast. The what's it called? The mugshot.
Yeah.
It is priceless. I'm gonna send it to you quickly.
Okay.
Through what's it called?
Twitter DMs. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm looking up the Super Bowl selfie so I can remember what he looked like.
Oh, it shows it in the article.
Okay, perfect.
It puts it side by side.
Look at, he was a baby then. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Oh no, no.
Oh man.
My God. Well, at least how is he getting to go to all these Super Bowls?
He's the Super Bowl kid, the Super Bowl selfie kid.
The real Super Bowl kid is Blue. I'm sorry, Blue. What's her name? Is it Blue? JC's and Beyonce's kid? Yeah, Blue Ivy. Oh my gosh, she's so grown up. She's so grown up.
She was stunning over there. She was having Jay-Z do all these Instagram pictures, and she's like, redo them.
I saw a video that was like, Blue Ivy needs a new photographer. I can't take this anymore for her. But I can't believe how grown she is. A and B. What a perfect hybrid of her parents she is. She looks like, you can look at her and she looks just like Jay-Z, and you look at her and she looks just like Beyonce, and I don't know how they managed to do that, but it's insane.
You know what I find fascinating about it? She's very much out of the spotlight. Not like the Kardashian kids. Like Northy, like she's not in any like social media realm. She's very like quiet. And I appreciate that. I think that's
But I saw a post of her going to the Super Bowl with her dad for like the last, I think, 4 or 5 years, and I thought it was so precious.
Well, they started going when to watch Beyonce perform.
Imagine that. Were you going to watch my mom perform at the Super Bowl? No big deal.
A couple times. She did it a few times already.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. But no, the article that I first read about that was like Jay-Z is an Instagram dad.
Good for him.
Right?
You could tell he was proud of it too. He was like, he was getting the angles. I saw him like get down to get angles. I was like, okay, good job.
There's one last article I want to touch on. This one hits home.
Okay.
It's for us wrestling fans and all the people in the chat. Most likely everybody watching knows wrestling and they're wrestling fans. But Seth freaking Rollins last night on Monday Night Raw is on TMZ because he joined the Big Red Boot craze, stomping the Miz with those. Well, I don't know what they are, but I do know that they cost over $1,000. The Astro Boy boots. Yep, Astro Boy boots costing over $1,000. And people were speculating that he was maybe going to wear them somewhat.
He had to. He had to. He looked great too. The whole fit too that he picked with it, excellent. I love his outfit last night. The mesh, the puffy, the boots. He looked out of this world. I love everything that he's doing,
Yeah.
and I popped so hard when he came out with those boots.
I love it because especially like the Miz being like, "What are those?" Like you don't know style, and like the Miz comes out in all these funky colors all the time, like with the
No, and say
headbands. And,
that you don't know style when those boots have been going viral
yeah,
everywhere. Like, come on.
yeah, no, it using that with the Miz in a segment was the best
Yeah.
like combination.
The Miz selling the curb stomp through the commercial break. I mean,
I don't
he
know
just
what you
stopped
guys
him with
saw.
this big ass boots. Like, it makes so much sense.
I don't know what you guys saw on TV, what they showed, but I filmed it. I have it on
Yeah,
my
I saw
Twitter.
it.
I
I saw
filmed the
it.
whole like they were rolling up the thing, and you hear the fans roll him up, and it was
Hysterical.
hysterical.
I was jealous. I was like, man, if I was in New York, I would so be at that Barclays Center. It's one of my favorite venues to watch wrestling. The crowd is always
Yeah.
crazy. I do think they show the people rolling him and then like rolling him
Oh,
out
they
of the
did.
way to keep rolling. Yeah, I think I don't know because sometimes like I don't know if I was like on social media and saw it
Yeah,
on the show, but I remember seeing it before all the clips started coming out.
yeah,
I thought it was great sell because of the big boots. Obviously, I popped for it and good for
yeah.
Seth. Good for Seth.
For the fans watching and listening right now, if you haven't gone to a live WWE show, what they do when they go to commercial break is they lower the lights so everything kind of gets darker on the ring. That's kind of how you know that we're on commercial break. And I
Right.
didn't even realize that the Miz was still laying there till like a minute or two after. And I'm like, wait, he is selling that. So he's still selling the curb stomp. It's laying there. He didn't move. Like face, everything, just laid there. Same
I
position.
mean, with those boots, I thought it was an excellent job by
Yeah.
the Miz. And you know what? I also have, I don't know if this is official or not, but it feels like it's wrestling slash pop culture. So I just have a last minute article to add to our show.
Oh yeah.
And from WrestleVotes, who they tend to be very reliable in what they report.
Calling an
Uh,
audible. You know what that is.
Right, we're calling an audible. The WrestleVotes tweeted, I'm told that the list below are the planned WrestleMania Goes Hollywood movie trailers.
I saw this.
Okay. Miz and Maurice, Top Gun. Rhea and Judgment Day, Stranger Things. Brawling Brutes and Drew McIntyre, 40-year-old virgin.
Love it.
Becky and Seth Rollins, Batman and Joker.
Yeah.
And the Bloodline as the
Goodfellas.
Godfellas.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Goodfellas. I need this in my life. Like, I wish I would have
Yeah.
not tweeted that because I was like, release the trailers now.
I didn't think, honestly, because we're so close to WrestleMania, that I didn't think, because we're almost what, like a month, a little over out.
Yeah.
I thought we weren't getting it like at this point. Like it's kind of
I
late
think
to
they're gonna
start
start
those.
coming out after Elimination Chamber just
Yeah.
to get, because they're already selling Mania so well that I think just to get people to subscribe to Peacock, they're gonna
Yep.
start doing that. I'm very surprised about the thing that made me go maybe is Stranger Things because that's such a Netflix exclusive thing that why would you
Yeah.
do a commercial on that? So and with Rhea and Dom you could do something different with Mommy and Dom, So
Yeah.
but I saw Stranger
Could have done
Things
something
and
with prison or something.
yeah, that will be. Oh my god, training day. No, anyway, that was
Love
the
it.
only one that I was like, oh, that's cap. Because why would you promote something that's Netflix related?
Yeah.
But other than that, everything else sounds just so absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I would have loved to see them reenact the ones they did before, just like an updated roster. Like
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes doing Braveheart would be hysterical. Hysterical.
Yeah, look, you say Cody Rhodes, and my dog gets mad. My
Hey,
dog
it could be
Roman
Sami
says
Zayn. We don't know yet. Or there's
it's
a big
gonna.
or.
It doesn't matter who it is. They're gonna lose to Roman.
I love it. I love it. This was a fun show. I had a good time. I think the chat had a good time. A lot of fun topics. We got to get we got a small Kardashian fix. We got a small wrestling fix.
It was all, last week we did all about the Grammys. Today, I mean, we touched other topics, but it was all about the Super Bowl. It's always such a big moment. But before we go, did you watch anything? Any new movies? Any new shows?
So while I was oh yes, I did. While I was sick, I binge watched the newest season that just came out like a few days ago of You.
I knew you were gonna say that.
On Netflix. They only released 5 episodes. The other half will be available, I think, March 9th, it said. And I have to tell you, have you watched this show before? Are you up?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of You to the point that I watched already. Well, I fell asleep, so I gotta go back and watch the last 2. But
yeah. I watched all 5 in like in a span of one day. I was just laying in bed, not feeling well. I just binged it. I am disappointed.
Me too. Me
I'm
too.
very disappointed.
I feel so much better right now because I
I
haven't
have
tweeted or
no.
anything about it.
Either have I. The other seasons, I had like some sort of emotional. You build an emotional attachment
Yeah.
to some of the characters, which
Right.
this one I felt nothing. I didn't even know half the names after
Yeah.
the 5
They were
episodes.
very dislikable people as well.
Yeah,
I don't want to spoil because I know it just came out and we're just the weirdos that already watched the whole freaking thing.
yeah.
But
Do people really do that though? Don't they just binge now?
I think so.
Yeah,
So I did pop for it, ending up being a whodunit because I'm a sucker for the mysteries, right? Like I
yeah.
love that, but that's not what you is about. And
No, not
I
at all.
feel like once they finish what they did last season, it was almost like they came to that conclusion just so they could just start over. Because
Yeah,
nothing that was left over from all of that made any appearances. Nothing happened here to
nope.
like connect it to the old Joe, and a lot of it doesn't make any freaking sense. How do you like fake your
Mhm.
own death and then all of a sudden you're able to reestablish yourself to this level? Like
Yeah,
it just felt like they wanted to write a complete different story for Joe, and they
yeah.
were like, okay, so if we kill
Or
everybody and
Jonathan.
just right, Jonathan, if we kill everybody and just put him in a different city, we can
Yeah.
just completely start over. And that is just laziness. And I never thought I would say this because I wasn't a big fan of Love. I miss her. I miss her this season. I can
He
see
was very
why
unpredictable, and I like that in that show.
she added something to that balance of what
Yep.
you like about Joe. But Joe is not even like I don't know what to
I'm
say
not
because
scared
like
of him anymore. There's nothing he can do. Like,
right,
he
right.
lost
And
the mystique.
he's not even like the bad guy that you want to root for. You don't feel like
No.
he's not even like crazy psycho. I question a lot of the choices that they made here. We'll see where they go
Yeah.
with part two. But I really wanted to just talk about this real quick, and maybe
Yeah.
we can dig into it a little bit more once more people have seen it.
Yeah.
But the best way that I can describe it is I fell asleep. I used to be able to make it through the entire
Wow.
season like nonstop, and I gotta
Because
tell
your
you, I gotta
angst
go
is
back.
up, and you're
Yeah,
watching, and you're like,
and you look forward to it. Like
yep.
I've been waiting for it. And the fact that I fell asleep, which I don't do, I'm the kind of person that when I get into something, I psycho obsess over it until I
Me too.
finish it. So I was like, shit, I fell asleep. So I can't even tell you the last two episodes. I gotta rewatch them. But disappointment is a good way to describe it. It wasn't it. Nothing about it that I
Yeah.
can tell you that I liked as of right now.
No, I got 2 words for you, and it's disappointed and predictable.
Yeah.
I knew instantly
And everything
who it
changed.
was.
And everything changed. Like
Yeah.
everything that you knew about him, the life, what he's after, like he's not doing the crazy stalker thing. That's what really like made you go, this show's crazy, but I like it. Like none of that. Like it's weird.
No.
It's weird.
People were comparing it to the Knives Out movies,
Yeah,
saying it's like a murder mystery party kind of thing.
yeah, but that's not what you is about. It's about
Nope.
him being like what the thing that I love about you prior to this season is how this guy is a bad guy. You know, he's a bad guy, but you freaking root for him.
Yep.
Like he like messes with what you think, like very much like the Joker movie, where it's
Yep.
just like this guy is a bad guy, but you sympathize with him.
But now he's helping people.
There's none of that here. It's just like, what are you doing? Like you're boring
What
now.
the most confusing thing to me was how we ended was it the 3rd or 4th season? I don't even know what that was. The last season, how we
When
ended
he
it was
faked his whole death, like
yes, and he was going to
abandoned his
chase this
kid.
Miriam girl.
Yeah, and he's like,
That was spoiler alert. I'm sorry, but
5 minutes. 5
completely
minutes
dropped.
of the whole season. 5
Yeah.
minutes.
I thought that's the angle we were going to go. Like
Me too.
Like what we know of the You show with this girl somewhere else.
I unfortunately watch Mojo because I love a good list video, and it was like 10 things that you should remember, which was great. So you don't have to go back and rewatch things. They also did a good job at recapping before the
I
season
saw that.
starts.
I watched that too.
But there was a Watch Mojo list that was like 10 things that we noticed from the trailer. And they talked about how the Miriam part looks like a flashback. And like Watch Mojo were the first one who put it in my brain that they were like, we might not even see her. This might have just been even like a dream sequence.
Yeah.
It was almost that way because of how little she was featured on the show. And it's just like, if there's people that know that he's still alive and that doesn't really come and play into like the situation, like it's weird. It was weird, and I don't know, I didn't like it. I also watch Love is Blind. They added 2 episodes to it.
Okay.
and it was crap because they filmed it so soon after the reunion that they're not caught up. Like a lot of these couples broke up and things have gone through, and it's like, okay, this is supposed to be an update, but you filmed it also almost a year ago. It's not an update. It's a waste of time.
I don't know. I was disappointed with you, but I mean,
me too. Me too. I'm glad I brought it up because I needed to hear it from somebody else just to see if I'm just crazy, because that was one of my favorite. You know what I watch? It's like true crime documentaries. I barely ever get. Yeah, I barely ever get into normal shows, and you was one for me. And I was like so sad, and I still haven't gone back and watched the episodes that I fell asleep through. And that would tell you something, because I used to binge it the day it came out. I remember seeing the first season. It's still my favorite. Based in New York, you didn't know what to expect. But I remember just playing the first episode because somebody was like, just play the first episode. You're going to love it. And I just couldn't stop. Couldn't stop. And now this is just like, yeah, it's there.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a reason why they did 5 and 5, because maybe the next part is like a different story. I don't know. It could be, I don't know. I don't know what
you might lose some viewers from it though. I mean, a lot of the reviews that I'm seeing throughout YouTube right now are not the most positive.
I would love to see the numbers on what they've done so far, because I can almost guarantee it's drastically lower.
Yeah.
No.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it being talked about a lot.
No,
like not like before. The first 2 seasons, it was all over my timelines everywhere.
Yep. I talked about it amongst a few friends that I know watch it, but I haven't seen any reaction or any clips on TikTok. I haven't seen anything on social media in general. No one's really said anything. Maybe it's kind of maybe it just faded out. Maybe it kind of had its time in the sun.
It did feel like this one took longer to come out than the rest. Like it felt like the other 3 seasons of You came out in a time where you just didn't forget about it. This one, I remember seeing the trailer and going, "Oh shit! I didn't even know they were gonna do another season of it." Like because it has been so long.
The other seasons were actually supposed to be in like real time. So like when they first started, I think it was like 2019, and another season was 2020 or 2020, whenever they were 21. They were supposed to be like up until that date, of the release. So it made sense then, but there's really no timeline. Like how far from the last season to now? Like what was there a time jump? Like I don't know. I mean, obviously,
I would assume because he had to like go and restart. I do like that they expressed that he might have taken the money from Love's bank account, like the secret bank account that she had. Because the first thing that I thought about, and I know you did too, we lived in big cities. It's like when you see his apartment, it's like you're trying to reestablish yourself. I said, I'm pretty sure in London you will be paying thousands and thousands of dollars a month for that apartment. Like you have money. Like where's this money coming from?
All his stuff. It said all his books. He's a teacher. Like he's established with a class already. Like
it doesn't make sense to me. It feels like they wanted to write a complete new script, and they were like, "Let's just kill everybody else. Like we'll make sure that what's her name, Marianne, is disgusted with him, so she don't have to come back in, and we'll just make it a whole new show." And I didn't like that, and it just takes me back to. I remember, as much as I might have not like Love, the twist when she ended up loving him because she was just as sick as he was. I up for that. I know there was no moment here that made me go, and every other season you have that moment with You. I have maybe like you said, maybe it's on the second part. I just as of right now, I haven't gotten the moment.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it, but I guess like all wrestling fans say about wrestling, let it play out.
I don't know. They lost that magic. They lost the magic. There's only so many girls you can stalk before you go, okay, it's the same show, just 5 different seasons of it. So I commend them for trying to do something different. It's just this is just not it.
Like it could have been interesting if they did it like he's the one being stalked now. Like someone's doing it to him from his past.
I thought they were gonna go that way with you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to spoil it for the people watching. They haven't seen it yet. But I thought they were going to go in that direction when there was somebody kind of figuring out, and then the secret text and all that. It's just not it. But commend them. I will commend them for trying something different because, like I just said, how many seasons can you have Joe get obsessed with a girl and stalk her and kill people to get in the way of him getting to her? You did that for 3 seasons now. So respect for trying something different. It's just like way different.
And you also have to think too of the platform, like Netflix. If you look at the homegrown Netflix shows, the average lifespan is like 3 or 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah.
Like Ozark, that was one of the top shows of all time for Netflix. It's finished. I mean,
You
they
was
probably could.
doing very good numbers for
You
them.
was up
So
there, yeah.
yeah, so you, I don't know.
Stranger Things.
This might be it. We'll see. I haven't heard anything about a season 5, so
No, I honestly haven't heard, like you said, anything about this
I
show.
still like his
I was surprised
performance.
when it came out. I didn't even know that
Me
was the release
too.
day.
Me too. I still like his performance. There's just something about Joe that I
Oh,
love
he's
the
great.
way that when he speaks to people is such a different voice than when he's narrating. And I wish I didn't know him as Joe Goldberg, because my God, he could be like a great voice for Audible to read books. But
Yeah,
now I don't want that creep reading me a book, 'cause I'm gonna you know what I mean? But like the
yeah,
narrator voice is so different from like his voice. Like he's a great performer and he did his best with the story that they gave him. I'm
yeah.
not disappointed in him. I'm disappointed in the story.
No, I think this year in particular, like we've talked about it before, a lot of great movies coming out this year.
Did you
A
watch
lot
the
of great shows.
Flash trailer?
I did.
Did you go crazy for the old school Batman showing up?
I did.
Did it remind you of the last Spider-Man?
A little bit.
Because the old Spider-Mans show
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I know it's a different story and DC is different. It's a
Yeah.
different timeline, and we're gonna see James Gunn take over DC now. But
Yeah.
I wish they would have not done it so close to us seeing the old Spider-Mans come back to help the new Spider-Man, because I was like, oh man, it's giving me Marvel vibes, and that's not what I want to get from DC.
Yeah. No, and like we have a new Batman movie coming out. We have the new Fast and Furious, Fast 10 coming out.
Did you see the trailer for that?
I
John
did.
Cena hitting the AA.
I don't know. The movies
These movies
may not
don't
even
make
be,
any sense anymore.
Here's the thing. The movies may not even be good. I'm not going to say they are or not. I think because they're so nostalgic for me, because I loved the first, the second, Tokyo Drift. Up until the fourth or fifth, that's kind of when they started to lose me. But those original movies are the movies of my like teenage years, and all of my friends we acted like them, and like I don't know, it's very hard to explain, but
no, I get it. For me, it's nostalgia because my dad loves them and I always take them to see them. So I see a trailer, I'm automatically like, oh, I'm gonna take my dad to the movies to watch Fast, like it's just like a me and dad thing. So I'm gonna watch them and I'm gonna take my dad to see it, and it's gonna be great. I haven't taken him since like I think it was the 8th one was the last time that I was able to take him. The last one I couldn't take him, so I'm excited to see it with my dad, and it's just like it's just so unrealistic, but I feel like you learn to accept it, and you're just like, yeah, it's a Fast and the Furious movie. It's just funny how John Cena is pretty much playing The Rock. That's what he's doing here. And Jason Momoa looked great.
That's what I was going to touch on. A big thing about these movies for fans is that they're always excited to see who's going to be the surprise bad guy, who's going to be the new characters. We had The Rock years back. We had John Cena thrown in there. Jason Statham. Now it's Jason Momoa.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another one in there. I forgot her name, but she's a big actress.
Yeah, the girl, Captain Marvel.
Yes, whoever. I forgot her name, but she's in there as well.
Oh my God, I even follow her on Instagram. I forgot her name, but she looks great in the trailer.
Yes. And I think that there's going to be one or two more after this. And then
Dylan is saying that they're supposed to film some part of 2 Fast and the Furious movies in Australia. He is from Australia, so.
There you go.
They film a few of them here in Puerto Rico as well.
I remember when I lived in Florida, they were filming along 95 for 2 Fast and Furious in Miami.
Fast Five is the one they film here, which is funny because they show a flashback of it with the safe scene where they're just driving with the safe attached to the car in the big bridge. That was filmed here in Puerto Rico.
Wow. Yeah, no, I remember living in South Florida, and they had like parts like Brie Larson.
Brie Larson, thank you.
Larson. I remember seeing parts of the highways like cut off. They were closed off because they were filming for the movies, and
I
don't know.
Again, they film every. The only thing that pissed me off is that they made it as it was Brazil in the movie. If you watch Fast 5, they were like in Brazil. Everything that you see that's Brazil is actually in Puerto Rico.
Wow, I did not know that, and that's actually crazy. I didn't know that. I don't know how you can fake that, but
you can. Yeah, you can. There's a couple of neighborhoods and areas that look very similar, and the effect of there's nothing that the movies company can do. Like that. I love that. I love that.
I don't know. Like I said, a lot of exciting things.
Scream in New York. I'm so hyped for that.
Man.
Last movie I went to see at the theater was The Last Scream. I'm not a big theater girl. I'm too single for that. But actually, to be honest with you, I do not mind going to the movies alone. I know that sounds crazy, but
I never did
I
either.
find it so relaxing. You get to enjoy the movie. Nobody's interrupting. You're trying to talk to you through it. Because when I go because I really want to see this movie, right?
Yeah.
Like we talked about the difference in your ages. Back in my 20s, I used to go to hang out with friends. Now I go because I really want to see this movie. So I've never been one that mind going to the movies alone. I find it therapeutic and you can enjoy the movie without being interrupted. But the last one that I went to see was Scream. And for this Scream, I will be back opening day probably afternoon because I don't want nobody to spoil it for me.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. I do think that being in New York is going to affect the story because we're going to probably see a bunch of people pretending to be Ghostface and that's not what I'm about.
It makes it
but
realistic,
we'll see where
which
it
is
goes.
why I'm scared of it.
I know. I see people like rob places wearing a ghost face mask. Like you see that in the news. Like this is normal for us. And that's that's what I was saying. It's like, yeah, you do see people dress up like that in the train and you pay no attention to them. Like we are so, individuals that anything can be happening and you're really not gonna pay attention.
Yeah, Dylan says in the chat, Cocaine Bear will be crazy.
I can't wait for that. The fact that it's a true story.
Creed 3 is coming out in a few weeks.
Yep. There's some good stuff coming out.
I love the Creed movies. Rocky is my favorite movie series, and this is actually the first Creed movie without Sylvester Stallone playing in the movie and also as a producer.
What are your top 3 favorite movies of all time?
My top 3. All right, so number 1. I'll start with number 3.
Okay.
Actually, do I have a third? I don't know. I'll give you 2.
Okay.
Number 2 for me is Silver Linings Playbook.
Okay.
With Bradley Cooper and
it's a great movie.
Yeah, awesome movie. Number 1, you may laugh. Toy Story is my favorite movie of all time.
You're so cute.
Favorite movie of all time. And I'm so excited because now they're making a 5th one. I mean, I don't know how excited I am about it because the last couple ones have been like a little touchy. But Toy Story is
adorable.
My favorite. I'm a 30-year-old man.
I don't even want to give you mine because mine are so dark. Like, I think my second favorite movie.
Like number 2, Children of the Corn. Number 1, The Purge.
No, number 2 is The Dark Knight.
Okay.
And number 1 is Fight Club.
Those are not bad. Those are not
Of course
dark.
not, but why would people wonder why I like wrestling when my favorite movies are about people fighting each other?
Listen, they're dark compared to Toy Story, but they're not dark moes. I don't know. I like those movies.
Club. I love Fight Club. It has like a message and like the twist in Fight Club at the end is like the best thing ever. Like I'm a sucker for a movie with a twist at the end where you don't know what was real, what wasn't real. But Fight Club in Brad Pitt, oh my god, so, that was Brad Pitt at his peak. Never looked better. Like that was it.
I don't know. I love that movie. I think that I don't know. I need to find a third now. Now for next week, I'll find a third because
I can give you my third. The Exorcist, the original, 1977. I told you my list is dark. Like there's something wrong with me.
I think it's perfect. You're perfectly fine.
It's very me. I know.
Yeah, my movies are all like I have like Toy Story and then like Silver Linings Playbook, like a weird transition in between those two. But I'm a Disney guy. I don't know. I've always been fascinated with Disney. Ties me to my childhood, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But next week I will come with a third. So everybody in the chat, I see people in the chat are
Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters. Oh, I love Ghostbusters.
That's Too Fast, Too Furious. Yeah. Maybe we can do a show. We can do a segment next week talking about different movies.
Different movies, like depending, right? Because you can do different lists based on category. Like comedies, like The Hangover, Wedding Crashers, and Anchorman are top 3 for me, like hands down. Absolutely. But yeah, we can probably do like a list based on what type of movie we're talking about.
Yeah. No, I this is why I love this show because we can go so many different places, and it's like we can have fun. And it's not wrestling related.
I know. I look at everybody in the chat hanging out with on Valentine's Day too, and they're just here hanging out with us talking about random stuff.
Yep. Dylan says the Bloodline storyline is the best movie of all time.
Yeah,
and it's only fitting that WrestleMania is in Hollywood this year, and we're gonna see it culminate there. So I think it's that's why they chose Hollywood.
You think that's where we see it culminate?
No, it's gonna go all. I think it's gonna go probably till SummerSlam.
I thought, to close it out, I thought the way that they did the return of Jey Uso on Friday was so dramatic and so well executed. They start announcing Jimmy on his own, and then Jay comes through the crowd. Like it felt like a peak on a movie that you've been following. Like it really felt like some Hollywood stuff. I tweeted out, I was like, I don't need telenovelas or soap operas. I have wrestling.
I honestly thought though, I thought he was gonna wait a little bit and let Jimmy fight on his own for a little while.
No,
and then come in and make the save.
No,
but I was excited that it, like I said, popped.
Yeah, big pop.
Yeah. But I think that does it for today. We went almost an hour and a half today.
I know, because you weren't here last week. I told you I missed you. I'm glad we came in no hurry, because I was like, he owes me for the hour he didn't talk to me last week. So
we spilled all the tea. We got everything out. I feel good. You feel good?
I feel great.
Awesome. I hope the chat feels good as well, because a lot of topics covered, a lot of different things, and only to look forward till next week.
Yep, we'll be here next Tuesday, same time, same place, and we'll bring all of the latest pop culture tea, which is pretty much such a general. It's pretty much like what's trending and people are talking about in the entertainment world. That's what we talk about here.
Yeah. And for everybody in the chat, listening and watching, and again, thank you for all the engagement. I love having the chat so engaged. We get to talk with them. And this, I mean, listen, we can have a great time, you and I talking. It's one of my favorite things of the entire week. But to have that input of the chat makes it that much better. And
yeah, I 1000% agree. And if you guys couldn't catch it live, we get it. It's Valentine's Day. Make sure to leave a comment. Let us know what was your favorite topic. What's your favorite movies? Let us know in the comments. I do read them.
Yeah. And don't forget to subscribe down below to the Know Your News channel, a growing channel with, again, a lot of different shows and podcasts and great hosts. And I'm happy to be part of it. And
Me too.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a great next show. There's a lot to look forward to. And again, thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.